Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So we all seen or heard about the Memphis PD people, kind of beating up a black man who happened to be by 5 other black men, and he is now, well, not here anymore. So that being said, I'm going to go over a few things with with these articles, and kind of see on what really happened here and how it's actually the far left's fault in this case because they got exactly what they wanted. Their stupidity led to this because they're morons, and they only want to rage, loot, and burn down things that is essentially, I would say that essentially they just want to do. That's it. They just want to loot and burn down things, and they need a reason to. So they found this reason. So I think you guys may need to check yourselves. I think that you need to start facing reality, and I think you guys need to really go into a mental institution because that's all I can really define you guys going into. Because honestly, it's sickening in this sickening in this. All right. We have Memphis PD dramatically lowered standards before hiring officers charged in Tyree Nichols' death. At least two of the 5 Memphis, Tennessee police officers charged with murder for the death of Tyree Nichols were hired by the department after they dramatically loosened the requirements due to low application rates. According to the NBC News report, Charlius Bean, Demetrius Hawley, Emmett Martin, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith all had been Memphis Police Department officers for just a few years when the fatal beating of the 29-year-old father occurred on January 7th. Bean and Haley in particular have only been on the force since August of 2020, after the department lowered the education standards. As Action 5 News reported, MPD recruits no longer needed an associate's degree or 54 college credit hours, and could just get by with only 5 years of work experience. In 2021 and 2022, recruitment was struggling so badly that the department offered 15,000 signing bonuses. Last year, the department also reportedly lowered the fitness requirements, doing away with what timed physically ability test. The department even offered waivers for felons to join the force, according to the New York Post. Oh, well, that's a very huge key thing here, guys. The department even offered waivers for felons to join the force, according to the New York Post. Well, that doesn't seem very good, now does it? I wonder who could possibly be wanting that. Who could possibly be advocating for all this stuff that would have to lower everything? Haley, in particular, has a troubled past that seems to have been overlooked by MPD in the hiring process. As NBC reports, he was accused of taking part in the beating of an inmate named Cordius Sledge about 8 years ago when he worked as a corrections officer for the Shelby County Corrections Department. In 2016, lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for Western Tennessee. Haley was accused of punching Sledge in the face while another officer slammed him face first into a sink. After that, I blacked out, the inmate said in the suit, which was dismissed in 2018 after Sledge was unable to complete the paperwork due to being in federal custody. A local news report from 2021 praised efforts by the department to recruit more people of color due to the reported likelihood to use force far less likely than white male officers. It goes by and wokeness here, which we will easily go. I'll actually show the video as you see. Memphis lowered hiring standards for police after 2020. The cops that killed Tyree Nichols were hired under the new standards. Here's a local Memphis story titled "More Diversity, Less Brutality." I'm gonna go exactly over this. Be right back.
Far less frequently than white male officers. Problem is, like you said, few people of color want to be police officers. So a new look to the police force is going to take a new approach to targeting, acquiring, and training cops of color.
There are so many factors that contribute to the decline of people going into this particular profession, and all of those things cannot be really answered in
Hiring events, commercials.
Consider becoming a Memphis police officer.
Flyers. The city of Memphis, like police departments across the country, is pulling out all the stops to try and recruit new officers.
So yes, it looks like their great wokeness and more diversity is the greatest thing. See what I mean, guys, when we want more diversity or you want diversity people or what have you, it is a very negative because you don't hire people that are good for the job. You don't hire people because they have skills. You hire them because of skin color, and that is the only reason why, and that makes you a racist. Because that means they only get the job because of skin color, which means you only look at their skin color because that's what matters. Racist. So, I think it goes down to say that this is a failed experiment, if they really even if they don't call it a failed experiment, it is a failed experiment because this is not working. The guy is dead because of your stupidity. Good job, woke leftists. You have completely destroyed a man's life, ruined a family's life because of your stupid ideology. Good fucking job. Despite this, all 5 officers charged are black, as well as the victim, while the other officers involved in the death of Nichols were recruited prior to drop-in standards and in after 2020. None have been on the force for longer than 6 years. Before the disturbing body cam and surveillance footage of the altercation between the 5 officers and the victim was even released. The 5 suspects were fired from their positions on January 20th after they were found to have violated department policy on the U.S. force. On Thursday, they were formally charged with second-degree murder, 2 counts of official misconduct, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, and 1 account of official oppression, and 1 account of aggravated assault. But it doesn't end there, folks. No. If you thought it really ended there, then you're sadly mistaken. It gets worse. Memphis police chief previously fired by Atlanta police for covering up child sex crime. Oh. Goes on to say, Chief Davis of the Memphis Police Department, which is at the center of attention as protests of the fatal police beating of Tyre Nichols sweep the nation, was previously fired by the Atlanta Police Department after being accused of attempting to cover up the sex crimes of a co-worker's husband. As Tribune reports, Davis was terminated from her position as APD's Internal Affairs Commander for her alleged involvement in a botched sex crimes investigation into the husband of an Atlanta police sergeant. Well, maybe we should actually go and look this up, because this seems a little bit crazy. And take a look at the video, because it may be eye-opening for all of y'all ears, you woke leftists.
Now by the Memphis Police Chief, C.J. Davis. Thank you, Chief, for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm going to wear my glasses because I have very specific things I want to ask you about. The charges. These 5 officers have now been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tyre Nichols. What's your reaction to these very serious charges?
Well, I expected serious charges. I really did. Actually, the charges that were placed, or at least the administrative charges, were probably the most severe that I've seen in my career. But they were absolutely appropriate. And I knew that the next step would be in the hands of the DA's office, so I am not surprised. These were pretty extraordinary measures, I must say, in all the times that I've been covering these types of incidents. To fire the officers and to charge them so strictly, does that speak to what we're going to see on that videotape when it is released after 7 p.m. Eastern? Absolutely. I think that, it also speaks to the fact that, over the last several years, we have all talked about police legitimacy, and police reform. And I think it's...
Yes, you are acting very great when obviously you seem to be failing at your job in every single regard, because I think this is something that, trying to hide your own evil doing. So we have this as well, as according to the report, 2 detectives claimed Davis instructed them not to investigate the suspected predator, Terrell Marion, to Crane after police discovered sexually explicit images of him with minor girls. Crane was later indicated by a federal grand jury on charges of producing child pornography, to which he pleaded guilty to 1 count in January 2009. The case required a federal indictment due to Atlanta police taking no action according to publication. An investigation conducted by the city later found that Davis was at fault for the inaction. The Chief Richard Pennington first demoted the longtime enforcement official from major to lieutenant before deciding to fire her, though she was ultimately reinstated after challenging the decision with Atlanta's Civil Service Board. Davis retired from the department in 2016 to become the chief of the Durham, North Carolina Police Department, and June 2021, she became the Memphis Police Department's first female chief. Less than 2 years later, her department is being implicated in the death of 29-year-old old father Tyre Nichols, who died 3 days after being beat by former officers, Tyre's being, and etc., etc., etc. They're each facing accounts, blah, 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 because we already know. Before the fight race, the disturbing body cam surveillance footage of the fatal January 7 altercation. Davis shared her thoughts on the actions taken by her employees. And she says she was outraged, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? I guess we get people advocating for sex crimes against children, and we have people, all of the officers that are being let in with probably prior felonies or murders or what have you into their division, because all due to wokeness and diversity is what's okay. We need wokeness, we need diversity to make things better. In fact, you made it so much better that you end up ending somebody's life because of your diversity hires. See where I'm going with this? How it is actually sarcastic, where it's not really that great, is it? Because your diversity, your wokeness, woke leftists, please calm down in the YouTube comments and start hating on me that it's not your fault, that you actively didn't want this. Oh, you think you didn't want this? Well, let's take a look at this. We have opinion. To CNN, which is quite hilarious, honestly, the police who killed Tyree Nichols were black, but they might still have been driven by racism. Oh yes, because it so happens that a group of 5 black police officers were racist against another black person. Now, this is highly possible. It's very possible there are black people that are racist against other black people, but the chance of it is very slim, especially in this scenario, considering there was 5 other black officers. And it so happens that this woman was also a black police chief. But it happens to see, are they all racist? Yeah, CNN, get the fuck out of here. You woke leftists caused this. You are the actual damage. And we'll probably even go further here as I explain this, that maybe this might be the real reason here. So, we all know this insanity, so let's go over here. Oh, leftists, it's not our fault. We didn't do it. We didn't cause this issue. It's all the other friends, the right's fault. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, really? Really? So who are the people that wanted to defund the police? Well, I think it was you guys, wasn't it? Well, since Memphis is having a problem with their hiring standards because of diversity hires and all that other stuff, and considering that they're having issues hiring people because, for whatever reason that may be, we also have this. City Memphis mayor issues statement on defunding the police. Oh, what's that, leftists? You finally got caught red-handed of your actual damage that you caused? Oh, so not only are you the ones that hired these cops because you advocated for this bullshit, you're also the ones that hired this woman that apparently didn't mind for a child sex crime that happened to a person, and you're also the ones that are probably the ones that defunded the police. Yeah, you guys didn't do that. You guys didn't actively want to defund these things. You were the ones that had the police want to go into this. So don't give me this bullshit, leftists. You caused this. It's your fault. It's your policies, and it was your ideology that caused this. You are the problem. Don't come to me. Go and look at yourselves. And guess what? You all go out and protest, or in this case, riot, because you guys just want a reason to riot for any apparent reason, because it's your fault that you caused it. But you think, oh, it's not our fault. We gotta go against it, riot against police hatred. You caused the police hatred in the first place, you idiots, because you made all these situations possible because of your stupid rioting, protesting bullshit. Get the hell out of here. Alright guys, that's for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care. And leftists, why don't you check yourself?